we're going to visualize how to perform pre and post increment and decrement operations on a variable using plus plus or minus minus. So to do this, I'm going to do touch inc dec operators.c, and then we're going to do vim dec operators.c. So just like before, we press I, we're going to do pound include standard io.h. Remember, we're going to have the output is int, main, and then the input will be void. We'll do our brace procedures and we'll do return 0. And then another good thing about setting this up is that you can set up your compilation in real time early, just to ensure you're doing everything properly. And then you can just repeat those steps. So we see that we don't have any issues. So I pressed up a couple times to go back to Vim, and there we go. So let's first, I'm going to press I for insert. I'm going to create a variable int x, and I'm going to set it equal to 5. And now, just for simplicity, I'm going to do fprintf, as we've done in the past, standard out, initial variable is percent initial, I'll just say initial x to make it easier to read, is %d. Finish it, comma, output specifier, output variable. We have the matching, and it works. Now we compile, and now we can do inc dep operators, and it says the initial value is 5. So what happens when I say fprintf standard out after plus plus x, the value is %d. And then here, I'm going to do, end quote, plus plus x. So recall from the reading, when we're talking about these operators, that we have the pre-increment operator, the x is incremented first, and then that new value of x is used in any expression in which it may be evaluated. And that's what's going on here. We increment x first here, and then we use it in the output specifier. So we anticipate that this is going to print out 6. And that's exactly what happens. The value is 6. So now let's go and print out a new line here. fprintf standard out. After x plus plus, the value is %d. And so x plus plus, we'll put that here. So what do we anticipate here? Well, it would increment it, but we're going to use the value first and then increment it when plus plus is afterwards, which means it's also going to print 6, but the value of x should be 7. And to prove this, I will say standard out, the current value of x is now %d and x. So what I anticipate is the initial value is 5. After plus plus x, the value is 6. After x plus plus, the value is 6. And then the current value is now 7. And that's exactly what happens. I left out a, %b/b. Let's change that to /n. And we'll run that again. And we see that this is exactly what we predicted what would happen. So now let's quickly just replicate that again with minus minus. fprintf, standard out. After minus minus x, the value is %d /n minus minus x. F per F, standard out. After x minus minus, the value is percent d slash n, x minus minus, F per F, standard out. The current value of x is now percent d, comma x. So what do we predict here? So right now it is currently 7, and it'll print 6 here. Here it will decrement it down to 5, which means we expect 5 here, but because it's doing it afterwards, it will still print 6. So we anticipate 5, 6, 6, 7, 6, 6, 5. So first let's compile this and make sure that we wrote it properly. We did. And then we see 5, 6, 6, 7, 6, 6, 5.